Today on Passion for Food, we'll be making this easy Tex Mex style taco salad. It's really delicious, so let's go ahead and get started. The only thing we actually have to make is the Tex Mex style crumbled beef, so I have a pound and a half of ground beef along with a tablespoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, along with about a tablespoon of freshly ground chili powder and a teaspoon of cumin, along with salt and pepper to taste. Now, with this particular method of cooking, we're going to wind up with very tender ground meat at the end. What we're going to be doing today is a Tex-Mex style, but you could mix it up with pretty much any kinds of meat and seasonings you want, and you'll come out with a very tender result. So into a medium saucepan we go with our meat and seasonings. Again, here we have onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, chili powder, salt, and pepper to taste. Now at this point we're going to cover this completely with water. Now you might be thinking, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that and not simply browning the meat with the seasoning? Well, there are a couple of reasons. If we simply sear the meat with the seasoning, you won't really be getting the full flavor because a lot of these dried seasonings need to actually hydrate. That's what the water is going to help us with. So if you simply cook it in the pan with the meat will be basically covered with the seasonings rather than being infused with their flavors, which is what we really want. Additionally, the water will help us break up the meat, and it will also act as a braising liquid. So we're going to do this as a more of a low and slow cooking method rather than a quick sear. That's how we get that really tender finish on our meat. So we're going to turn our heat on high and get our meat as broken up as we can. I think a flat-ended wooden spatula is the ideal tool for this. Give it a thorough mix to break up any clumps. So once we're happy with that and it comes up to a boil, it's time to reduce the heat to low, and we're going to simmer this until pretty much all of that water evaporates, at least an hour. What winds up happening is all that great flavor from those dried spices diffuses into the water, which then reduces, intensifies, and infuses into the meat as it cooks down and tenderizes. I actually got this method from a Canadian friend of mine who used to work at a Mexican restaurant. I just happened to ask him how they always get their seasoned meat so perfect, and he shared this method with me. And it really works great with any combination of meat and seasoning you'd like to try. So after about an hour, you can see all of that liquid has reduced and infused all of that great flavor into our meat. And depending on the fattiness of your meat, you may or may not want to drain this. I was using 80/20 ground chuck here, so I decided to give mine a little bit of a drain while I got the rest of the ingredients ready for our Tex-Mex Taco Salad, which is going to be super easy, but really quick. I just wanted to show you the proper way to dice an onion. So really the key to making this easy on yourself is leaving the root end intact. Don't cut that off. What we're going to do is cut off the stem end and then slice in half. Once it's in half like that, we can easily peel off the skin. And all we want to do is slice lengthwise down the onion right up to the root, but don't cut through the root. That's going to hold everything together for us. I see a lot of people then slicing across the onion, but there's absolutely no reason to do that. You see the way the onion is layered, it's already separated across that axis, so that's a complete waste of time. Don't do that. And then we just slice across like this, and we wind up with fine diced onions, perfect for our taco salad. So let's go ahead and plate up a large portion here, the base of which is fried tortilla chips. Whichever kind is your favorite. I'm using some imported Mexican white corn chips here. Next up, I'm going to add about 1.5 ounces of cheddar cheese. The reason I like to add the cheese first is it acts as something of a barrier between the chips and the rest of the ingredients to prevent the chips from getting soggy. Additionally, we're going to go on next with the meat, so by going cheese meat, the hot meat will hopefully melt a lot of our cheese. Next, we're going to be adding some diced tomatoes. These are actually some cherry tomatoes that I sliced into quarters, but whatever tomato you have will work. And on we go with our finely diced onion, as much onion as you like. Next up, we're going to top that with some shredded lettuce. You can really add in whatever toppings you like to this. I'm just sort of showing you the standard starter options. A lot of people like to add roasted corn and artichokes and all sorts of things to this. So to finish ours off, I'm going in with a generous dollop of sour cream. Guacamole would be another great thing to add here. But that's it. Our Tex-Mex style taco salad is ready to enjoy. This made a really large portion, so I'm going to go share this, but it really turned out great. So if you've been thinking about making a taco salad, definitely give this a try. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, give me a thumbs up below and consider subscribing and hitting that little bell icon to be notified of our future episodes. This has been Graham with Passion for Food.